All right, are you still here? The art part is fully over, but I am going to ramble about actual economics for a bit. As jokey as this is, I actually do think that being financially competent is far more important for artists than for most other people. So, first off, some advice for my fellow Americans. Our days are numbered, learn Mandarin. But assuming things keep chugging along, I'm always surprised by how many people don't understand various things like credit scores. It's affected by like 7 different factors, but I'm going to give you the easiest tips to improve yours. First off, have 2 credit cards, both with different cashback rewards, so you can use them for separate categories of things and maximize your free money. Make sure to always set them to auto pay in full from your checking account. That's where you should be keeping your day to day money. If you struggle to pay them off in full each month, then never mind the credit card thing, it's not for you just yet. You do not want to be late on a payment or make minimum payments. Anyway, you do need 2 credit cards to effectively build credit if you're new to things. The most crucial part of this is your credit limit. You need to ask for this to be raised as often as possible. Your credit score is based on utilized credit. So if your credit limit is $2,000 and you spend $1,000 a month, that's 50% utilization and your credit score will be hurt. If you raise your credit limit to $10,000, now it's a 10% utilization and your credit score goes up. You can take it from me, I already maxed out my credit score and am also surviving well despite taking home about half as much as the average income for the area I live in. The other thing I want to mention is interest rates. You probably hear news about them a lot, but might not be familiar with how they affect average people like us. Well, when they're low, you can get low rates on loans, such as a mortgage, and your goal is to own a house. However impossible that might seem, you must find a way. So, loan stuff, the difference between an 8% mortgage rate and a 4% mortgage rate is massive. Over $1,000 a month might be getting burned away. Don't be afraid or too lazy to refinance if the rates drop. You could be getting an extra few $100 each month just from a percent. So, low interest rates sound pretty good, but high ones can actually be great too, depending on your situation. Most of you probably don't have a mortgage, and if you're just trying to save money or maybe have a good mortgage that's locked in, high interest rates mean that banks are going to offer higher returns on savings and CDs. A CD is just a savings account that you can't take money out of for a set period of time, usually with a slightly higher return. These are the safest and most reliable ways to make your money grow. It's not fast, but once again, it's safe, and that is always the trade off. Ideally, you have your credit cards and monthly expenses coming out of your checking account each month, and if you're being cheap enough, hopefully that checking account is outpacing your spending, and you can trim some off the top once it reaches a certain level and put that into your savings account. Once your savings are building, you can probably put a chunk of it into CDs. There are, of course, other options like stocks and things, but let's be clear, stocks are largely a scam. Treat them like a slightly reliable scam, but a scam nonetheless. Sadly, 401ks are just a way to siphon money out of the middle class, but it is done in a way that makes it slightly beneficial most of the time. It's less taxes, and sometimes you might work for a company that is matching your 401ks or doing something to help out instead of giving you a higher salary. It's a very sneaky form of control, but regardless, the thing you need to know about stock investing is that stocks are socially driven and nothing more. Earnings per share, chart analytics, etc., these things can certainly shape the social sentiment, but at the end of the day, that social sentiment is all that actually matters. If you think you're going to outsmart social sentiment, you won't. The most successful financial bros and investors are usually midwits, people of very average intelligence. If you can think the same way most people think, right in the median, you'll probably have the best odds. If you ever find yourself asking things like, why is this movie popular? Or why does everyone like this music? Then be very wary of stock trading because I promise you, you can't trust your instincts. That midwit thing is not a dig on anyone, by the way. Everyone should take advantage of their strengths and understand the bell curve of intelligence and wealth. Anyway, obviously avoid crypto stuff like the plague. You quite literally have better success rates at a casino. Never get swept up in quick wealth, and remember that everyone's gain is someone else's loss. A good general rule of thumb is if you expect more than 10% annual return on savings, or someone tells you that you can get more, that is most likely a scam or at the very least incredibly high risk. 5% is a very reasonable and safe goal. 10% would be a very successful and maybe only slightly risky goal. Remember, wealth is a limited resource. No one is ever trying to make you rich. It's against their own self-interest. Which is why I'm not giving you advice to make you rich, I'm giving you advice to make you more efficient. Oh man, I'm actually going way more into this than I thought I would. But who cares? Let's keep going. The other things to know about America right now is that we're kind of cooked. We will continue to be on a decline no matter what happens in the future. The only question is how fast or slow. There's a general cycle of wealth accumulation and wealth loss. In some ways, it's nice to be on the wealth loss side of things because it allows a bigger focus on creative endeavors and frivolity. America is basically retiring and has been for a long time. Trade deficits are a pretty good sign of that, but that's not exactly a thing you can fight. You know, on a random note, I did hear a funny little clip about the US president talking about tariffs on pharmaceuticals by pointing out that companies make all of their profits by overcharging Americans. His point was not that fleecing Americans was bad, it was that American businessmen deserve to also get a cut of the profits from fleecing us. I mean, I guess that's better than nothing in some sense. Oh well. America did manage to become a nice little exporter for global culture for a while, which is kind of the dream of any wealthy country. It's a great way to spend a retirement, but we're actually trying to cash that out with our AI obsessed silliness. This makes me think of another point. I guess I should talk to the non Americans. Hello, non Americans. Please just cook us. We mostly deserve it. The corporate world already decided that intellectual rights and ownerships were out the window when they scraped all of our work for AIs. We were too naive to think they would just ignore things like copyright law, and I feel like other countries should feel free to treat the corporations the same way they treat us. So go ahead, China, sell Apple iPhones with the same parts for half the price. You can even call them Apple iPhones. You can sell us Adobe Photoshop for $5. None of it really matters. Intellectual property was always just a gentleman's agreement. But I'm giving you permission on behalf of all American companies to just take it all. Just go nuts with it. Put out a new Star Wars movie. Do whatever. What are we really going to do about it? We can't even manufacture computer chips here. Our products kind of suck anyways. This isn't the 1940s or 50s. I have run into people that actually still think Made in America is a sign of quality because they associate it with that time period. But they should have learned about Milton Friedman economics and the rise of Jack Welch style corporate culture in the 80s. These are the philosophies that currently run every business in America. And you can't make decent stuff if you only care about profits. And Friedman style economics are the only thing they teach in modern US business schools. So it's very funny to think that bringing back manufacturing would also bring back quality without addressing that nearly 50-year cultural shift in how business is done. Okay, this ramble is getting more chaotic by the second. But it's a very interesting topic and I find it fascinating and it's not appropriate for this art channel, but you don't have to watch it, don't worry about it. But anyway, let's just wrap things up and let's wrap it up with that word fascinating or fascination. The best thing you can do in life for yourself and your financial situation is just be fascinated by things. Learn how to do electrical work. Learn how to fabricate things. Learn how to do plumbing or construction. I'm not saying this as a meme. It's literally fun and makes you feel good to fix things. I personally do as much as I can by myself. I've done plumbing, which is by far the worst. I've done electrical work. I've fixed air conditioners, washing machines, even more sensitive electronics. I actually really like soldering stuff. Many times it is out of necessity because something broke, but sometimes it's just for fascination. Last week I got wrapped up converting an old Glock light into a rechargeable LED setup. It took me some tries to get it right. You kind of have to expect failure when doing something new, but it was fun and it worked out in the end. The great thing is, all of these types of things will make you better at art, as you can incorporate any form of knowledge into something creative. So learn as much as you can about anything you want. Okay, that's all. I'm stopping for real this time. Sorry.